CH2SO4. Sounds like a chemical formula, right? If Three Idiots took me back to engineering school, CH2SO4 takes me back a couple of years even before that, when I was in Ruia College. And on the katta, sitting there, CH2SO4 was an often used term to give an expletive to somebody. CH2SO4, also known as Chuthium sulfate, is something that Vidya Balan uses a lot in Ishqiya. I'd say in addition to it being a chemical formula of kinds, it's also Vishal Bhardwaj's formula of filmmaking. Vishal Bhardwaj has carved out a certain style of his own, from Maqbool to Omkara and now to Ishqiya. The genre which sets itself in eastern UP and shows us a part of the country which city-bred people like us do not know of, and yet realize that it's something which is set in today's times. It's no period film. So shocking as it may be, it shows us an India which we would otherwise not know. If Yash Chopra is about Switzerland and Australia and chiffons and great-looking women, Vishal Bhardwaj is about Eastern UP and the rough and tough areas which there are. Although this is not directed by Vishal, Ishqiya still has his stamp all over. Ishqiya talks about two characters, Nasiruddin Shah and Arshad Warsi, who seem to have life and death brushes every day. Being chased by gangsters whom they have defrauded, that seems to be a way of life which they seem absolutely comfortable to live with. From one day to the next, running from one place to another, trying to go over to Nepal, and all that happens in between. And then there is Vidya Balan, the other character. Again typical of films like Maqbool and Omkara. Here's a woman scorned, here's a woman who seeks revenge of her own men in her own style. So Ishqiya is a story of the interplay of these three characters. A very interesting interplay, quite enjoyable, kept me on my seat. And in the backdrop of this story are some interesting facets of UP which you get to see. Facets where in the city there is utter chaos, as if you'd be surprised about that. There are temples aplenty. There are people with huge hoards of ill-gotten wealth. There are red light districts. There are bars with people dancing away with girls. Beauty parlors aplenty, several of them masquerading as war houses. Yeah, all that as you'd expect. But what you'd not expect is in the villages, gun-toting is something as natural as eating food. Children learn how to use a country-made pistol before they learn to see Kakhaga. Yes, that's the UP which Bhardwaj shows us. And of course there is his classic music. Bhardwaj is a musician first and a filmmaker later, and that always shows up in all of his movies. His music is about that story, it's about that place. It's as rustic as you'd like to see in a movie like Ishqiya. And of course his wife Rekha Bhardwaj adds voice to some of those beautiful renderings. And the lyrics by Gulzar. In fact, there was an interesting article which I read just a few days before the release of Ishqiya, talking about the Gulzar-Vishal Bhardwaj relationship, about how Vishal Bhardwaj met Gulzar quite by accident when he was working at Doordarshan, and how a relationship has started from those days, starting with Vishal Bhardwaj's first break as a music composer in Gulzar's Marches. That relationship has gone a long way since those days, and Ishqiya is one of those potent combination of Vishal and Gulzar. So all in all, I'd say Ishqiya is a film worth seeing for anybody who likes to see that kind of slightly dark film set in small town India.